Hey everyone, it's Joe here. This is a video of a build that I did about a week ago for a friend. First time with the computer. I'll do a little review at the end of how things turned out, but basically, this is based off a build that he did, that he got the parts and everything for himself, based off of a build that we posted on our Facebook page. So he asked me to build it and put it together and make sure that it was completely working and everything, and then I helped him set it up at his house and everything. But um, basically, this is what it is. This is my first time doing a video like this, and also I'm kind of testing out how the 4K recording goes on my phone and trying a couple new different things. So hopefully you enjoy it. Feel free to pick it apart. There's even times where I fumble and mess up on my words, and I try to make fun of myself a little bit for it. So, all right, enjoy.
Alright, hello everyone. Right now I am doing a build for a friend that he get all the parts and he just wants me to put it together and make sure everything works and everything. So this is what he got. He got a i5 processor, a i5 4590, a Seagate 1 TB. He also got himself a Sapphire Radeon R9 280. A ADATA 8 gigs of DDR 1600. All these parts, I not necessarily advised him on everything, but I kind of gave him an idea, and then he went and got his own. And then he got Windows 8.1, a EVGA 500-watt power supply, and then a Z87 ASUS motherboard, which I will be taking a look at here. Alright, now I got the ASUS board. As you can see, it is a mini ATX, and we got a couple excuse me, PCI Express slots, and a few of the RAM slots, and it looks like to be pretty well put together. I'll take a closer look at that. We got an SLI bridge, which we will not need, or even for Crossfire. You know, they always put these things in here. I never use the damn things for audio or any of that stuff. We got a nice little back plate here, and of course, Ultimate Force, ASUS's little tramp stamp logo. Got a couple USB or SATA cords. My bad. Tough inside. Boy. And of course their booklet and everything else we need. So let's get this thing out of here. Alright, here's the board out, and we got 3 PCI Express 16s, and then 1 PCI Express 1. Let's see, we got all SATA 3s over here, or SATA 6 as some people call it. We got 4 DDR3 RAM slots, which we only have 2 RAM so right now. I will say the heat sinks that these guys put together with ASUS, I mean, they do a fantastic job. These things are pretty sturdy, and you can see the heat pipe going between the two. See, we got 4 USB 3s, and decent amount of audio, and then the HDMI on here, which we'll hopefully not need right now. Well, it's time to put the CPU in here. Alright, I got the processor in there. Unfortunately, on his budget and everything, he was just going to stick with the Intel heatsink. We'll see how it does for him, and I'll test it out and everything here in a little bit. That was actually, I normally don't like the push pin heatsinks at all. They normally piss me off. But these actually went in really easy and just popped right in. I was actually really happy with them. So next I will go ahead and put in the RAM. Alright, I got 1 RAM module in. Something I just noticed with the ASUS is that on the one side it's actually not clips, and it is on the other side. So really, pretty much all you do, and I'm trying to do this with the camera, is you slide it in on the one side as straight as possible, and then just push down, and it like clicks in still on this side. I don't know how exactly it does it. I guess it has these little push side clips on the side, but it works really well, and they're pretty snug in there. Now, I've never even heard of ADATA or data or whatever RAM, so I don't know. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it works. And next will be actually getting the case and everything together for this. Alright, now the case we got here is a Fractal design case, which seems to be the norm for our channel. It seems to be, it has the front fan. I'm not seeing fan on the back or on the side panel. This is actually one of their cheaper models. I cannot remember. It's just the Core 1000. See, and it comes with this box with all the little screws and everything. So you see, the front's pretty simple. Just kind of it's kind of mesh with the little dust protectors, and then on the side is where the power and headphone jacks and USB all sit. So see how putting this thing together goes. Alright, I got the board in there. I haven't screwed anything down yet. I just want to say with this case, I don't know if you can tell, it is one of the tightest fits I've ever seen for a board and everything. It's just barely fits in there. I kind of had to scrape a little bit of the metal here to get that in. But also something I noticed about this board, if I can get enough light in there, is it actually has a nice BIOS flashback button, and also the Memo K. I'm guessing basically check for overclocking issues or anything like that before I screw all this in. But yeah, it was a kind of a pain to get in here. It was really easy, and I forgot the faceplate, or the back faceplate. But when I forgot to put that in, so I put it in, I had a really hard time kind of getting this to barely push in there, but I eventually got it. So, alright, now to screw this guy in and start getting everything together. Alright, everyone, I got the motherboard all in here. I got the RAM, I got all the cords hooked up, and I found, since this didn't have a back fan or anything in here, it only has the front one, which I need to figure out where the power for that is. But I found an old Raid Max fan that I have, and I'm going to hook that guy up in here. Next thing I need to do is put the power supply on in here. Alright, this is the EVGA 500B. Move that out of here. Let's see what we got here. Alright. Well, it's a non-modular. Try and get this damn thing off one-handed, which it's not going to happen. We have a 12 volt rail, 40, and we got a 408 combined watt just on that, and then the 5 and the 3.3 with 120, a 40 amp rail, which hopefully should definitely be good enough for this. It's a pretty decent power supply. You got a bunch of tangled mess of cables here that I need to get all undone, but seems to have everything that we typically need. Yeah. Alright. I got everything plugged, well, everything that's in there so far plugged in. Kind of pushed that a little bit too far, but one thing, I don't know, I know why they do it, but These little split CPU wires always piss me off, but it seemed going pretty well. Next, I'll be putting in the CD-ROM and hard drive. And yes, he does have a CD-ROM. He does a lot of older gaming, and he'll have this hooked up to a TV and everything, most likely. So, figured have at least DVD, and also that way it makes it easy to install for Windows 8. So, I'm gonna put that on in and make sure it's all good and together. All right. I got the power supply in, I got the CD-ROM and the hard drive in there. The weird thing about this case is it's pretty much made apparently for the smaller 2.5 hard drives and not the 3.5. So I kind of had to rig this in kind of a way and put it in where the CD tray is and have it resting on the little stoppers with one screw in, unfortunately, but I think it'll work for what I have. Alright, next we'll be putting in the video card, which I have over here. Now this is a AMD Radeon, well, by Sapphire 280, or R9 280. It's a pretty big ass card. I'm hoping it's barely gonna fit in there, but should be able to get it in there. And it's a dual fan, so hopefully keep it decently cool. Alright, now I got this bad boy hooked up. Trying to do a little bit of wire management, but I don't think there's too much I can do with this. That's one reason I like modular better, but I understand I'm building this for someone, so yep. But the power supply is, or not power supply, the video card is in, and something I didn't go over is it has two DVI ports, an HDMI port, and a display port on the back of it, so should be interesting. And pretty much all that's left to do now. I also got rid of the big hard drive bracket because there's really no point in having it, and it made getting to the video card a lot easier since this thing is pretty damn big. So it is time to hook up this bad boy and let's see if it works. Alright, I got it hooked up. I have it string to my TV right now. And well, let's see if this thing works. Oh, we have life. And it is a go. Alright, awesome. Now I need to install Windows since there's no keyboard or anything. I gotta hook up a keyboard. But it is live, so let me go get a keyboard and mouse and everything, get this all together, and start installing. Alright, pretty much right now I'm getting ready to install Windows. In the BIOS I didn't do too much. I just kind of set it to optimum settings for ASUS, and then just kind of made sure the RAM and everything was working. Apparently I did have them in the wrong slots. I wasn't paying attention to how the motherboard worked. I had to move them over, but other than that, it's been pretty smooth, and now it's just time to install Windows 8. Alright, well, I have it all together and everything is working. I'm about to put it together, but a little review over everything. This is the Radeon R9 280, and so far from what I could see, it seems like a pretty damn good card. Drivers installed and everything pretty easily. I haven't really tested out games too much or anything because I don't really have access to, I don't want to sign up and do all that on their computer, but seems to be a pretty good card, just worked right away. Processor was easy to install, the RAM seems to be working, everything seems to be working right away, pretty good. The case is really the only thing I don't really like in this build. I don't like the heatsink necessarily either, but surprisingly for an Intel one, it wasn't a pain in the ass like they normally are. But the case, I know this is on the cheap end of a Fractal case, and I will give it the benefit of the doubt there, but it doesn't really, things I don't like about it is it's a little bit cramped here, as this is right up against this metal right here, For the board, I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but I can't even get a fingernail in between the metal of the disc tray and that board. Also, it is lacking fans. It only has the one in the front, and I had to put it in a second one in the back, and I don't have one that'll fit the side panel. Um, Also, I mean, the mesh and everything kind of feels kind of cheap. It's definitely not as good as the other Fractal stuff, but again, it is on the lower end, and it works for what we need it to do. But again, um, far from my favorite Fractal case. Other than that, though, it seems to be a pretty good build, and for decent price and everything.
All right, basically the build went pretty well. I installed it at my friend's house and everything, and hooked up to his big TV and living room. And one of the things he had to get a wireless card afterwards that he didn't plan for. But other than that, everything went pretty well. A little bit after there was an update for Windows 8 that messed it up. For he was using an old Sanyo TV, and for some reason it did not like. There was a DirectX update for some reason. Um, I don't know whether it was Microsoft accidentally put up DirectX 12 into it, um, or just there was some kind of update for uh, 8.1. Maybe it was like 11.2 or something, but it messed up the signal going to his older TV through the HDMI, and it just rendered it inoperable. But we eventually fixed that. We rolled it back so that he didn't have that problem. But everything he's been running, uh, runs pretty good. I mean, runs things like Borderlands, the pre-sequel, um, Civilization, I believe is one of them. Fallout New Vegas, I've seen he's been playing that a lot on Steam, and it ended up being a pretty good build. Actually, that processor, for at least for what he's been running, hasn't been overheating or anything. That surprisingly, that Intel heatsink has been doing a decently good job. So I still think he should get a better heatsink in the future, but the i5 is handling it pretty well, and the 280 is handling graphically everything he needs. I don't even know if that TV is even a full 1080. It's one of those where it's I think it's something like 800 or something, and it just for like TV and stuff it goes up to 1080, but in real pixels it's a little bit lower. So, but I mean, for that, I mean, it might even be a little bit overkill for what he's doing, but he's enjoying it, and hopefully, you enjoyed the video, and hopefully it was a little bit informative for anyone. And have a good day.